Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. We should be live as usual. Do we have anyone in the live chat to confirm if I am indeed live and the sound is good? If not, then I think I will just get right into it. But we should have a couple of viewers, so I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you've all had a great weekend. So no live chat until now. I think I'll get into the analysis straight away. Not a problem. What we'll do as usual is I'll just analyze what's going on right now and the plan for next week. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the live chat. And if you do, I will cover them after my analysis. So if we just recap what happened since our last live stream. Again, I still have the prediction made last Sunday, which was a decent one overall. I wanted to see a drop lower because remember, I didn't like this low, which we did take out in the end, but I wanted to see a drop a bit lower, a deviation below $81,000 to look for long positions. And at first, I had a target at $85,600 because we had liquidity and an imbalance, which did also offer rejection, as you can see. But then during the week, as we saw the new quarterly pivot come out, I did make a YouTube update and a Discord update as well that I wanted to see the quarterly pivot tap. And also we didn't like the monthly low, so I wanted to see a new monthly low. At this point, the monthly low was somewhere around $82,500. So overall, the scenario played out pretty well again, but unfortunately, I did get front run, right? We got a double bottom. I simply did not long this, and then we just had too many wicks for me to open any long. But again, we wanted to see the drop, the bounce, the reversal lower. It played out pretty well. We hit the quarterly pivot, we got the bounce, we got the reversal, we got the new monthly low, and then I made the new YouTube update. And I gave you this resistance, which was the order block around 84.7, and I did share it first on the Discord, so it should have been on Thursday, right there. So on Thursday, I wanted to see the move up into that order block to short it, but unfortunately price decided to drop straight down. Again, I was left on the sidelines. But then I made the update on Thursday, I think, or on Friday was it? But I made an update. We were seeing the rejection of that order block, and you can see that in the end, this did offer the high for that nice drop to the downside. And of course, it does look like Bitcoin wants to take out that low at $81,000. So what can you expect this week? I know you probably have a lot of questions because the stock market, I think, it closed pretty bearishly. Even though this was our prediction last Sunday, so I wanted to see a fake bounce to the upside, to drop lower, take out that low, and then see a reversal higher. Again, this scenario played out pretty well. I did initially want to open a short on the stock market, but again, as Trump was speaking, I just was not interested in trading. But we got the fake bounce, we got the drop, but unfortunately, it was deeper than I wanted it to see for the bull case, which would have been a relief rally to the upside. I still think that's possible, but for now, I just want to hide this because, I mean, it played out. I can remove this. But you can see the stock market did indeed close pretty bearishly. Again, inside the Discord, while you were seeing the bounce, I did remind you that, in my view, this was a fake bounce right there. So the stock market is offering the false bounce, as I was saying. So we were seeing that bounce. I wanted to see a drop lower, which again did happen in the end. So I hope that no one inside the Discord was caught off guard, and lost a lot of money on these big drops, because we've been expecting lower prices on both Bitcoin and the stock market, which did indeed come. So with that said, we can get, actually one last update. Ethereum this was honestly pretty nice. Like, if we zoom in, unfortunately Bitcoin didn't follow my prediction to the dollar, but Ethereum, I have to say, like, come on. This was pretty much perfect, right? I wanted to see a higher low last Sunday. At first, what I said in the live was that you should be aware of the midpoint of this 4-hour, and that's why I drew this line somewhere around there, because this was the midpoint of this 4-hour. you can see that it offered a very nice rejection, but during the week, I do have to admit that when I saw the monthly pivot, which came in a bit above us, let's add it, monthly, it came in a bit above us. I thought that now it was more likely to go for the fill of the imbalance and then reverse, but in the end, the initial plan actually played out really pretty much to the exact dollar. So pretty nice prediction on Ethereum. And actually I was not looking at it. It's suffering a very nice drop lower and is reaching our major support. Let me just hide this. By the way, the quarterly comes in much higher, which is pretty bullish. That's nice to see the quarterly above $2,000. So $2,300 pretty much. That's very nice to see. So overall, again, Ethereum followed the scenario to the dollar. So now I can remove it. This and this. And again, it is reaching our major support that I've been talking about for a long time. I mean, not such a long time, but for a couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know. But again, 1550 to 1650, this will be a major support. We have a weekly imbalance, a weekly order block, and on the daily, we did have more confluence, I believe. We have the low of this daily imbalance as well. So all of this gives you a very strong support level on Ethereum that you probably don't want to lose. Okay, so before I dive a bit deeper into Ethereum, let's cover Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, honestly, I'll keep it very simple. I don't think that I want to change much of my prediction made on Thursday that I sent inside the Discord. It did get respected pretty well until now. Now, I did want to see the bounce first to short the order block, but in the end we dropped first, then bounced, tapped the order block, and now we're dropping lower. And for now, honestly, I don't want to change that prediction. If I just show you, it was sent on Thursday. Where is it? Right there. So Thursday, the 3rd of April, we got the drop. We were seeing the bounce off of the low of that wick, 82,500, and I wanted to see the rise into the order block, see the reversal, and then a bounce higher. This prediction hasn't changed at all. So I don't want to touch this for now. I'm pretty happy with it. We got the bounce, we got the rejection, and we're seeing the drop right now, which is, in my opinion, the best scenario. I mean, not the best, because we did fill, which was pretty funny, honestly. I'll talk about this in a bit, but we did fill the hourly imbalance completely. But the drop is very aggressive, which is exactly what I want to see. I would ideally like to wake up tomorrow with a very strong drop to the downside, create a lot of fear because the stock market has crashed, create a lot of fear, and then get that reversal higher. So something like this, we don't have to take out that low, but personally, I would like to see it taken out. Drop below that low, create a lot of fear. I want to see a lot of imbalances, and then we can look for that reversal. So again, I don't want to change my my prediction. This was it, made on Thursday, has been followed pretty nicely with the order block offering the high, and we got that drop lower. So if I just show you, which was pretty funny, what happened with imbalances. I mean, that's not usually how you trade imbalances, but these come in handy in extreme scenarios like these ones. But look at this range. I mean, the low was offered on the last imbalance to the dollar. You filled the imbalance and got the bounce higher. And guess where we topped out? Well, we topped out again to the dollar on the last imbalance before seeing that big rejection to the downside. So again, most of the time that's not how you'll be trading imbalances, but I do talk about these extreme cases inside of our new lessons, which will be coming out very soon. I am working on them, but I do talk about these extreme scenarios where the top and bottom imbalances get recovered, and you can see that the theory got respected extremely well. I mean, it's not a coincidence that both the bottom and the top were put in to the exact dollar right on the last imbalance. Okay, so that's mainly what I want to cover for Bitcoin. It would be a drop, and then of course when you drop you want to look for longs. I mean, I'm not going to be interested in shorts down there, but the bigger plan on the higher time frame, of course, let me just hide this for now, remains the same. personally, I still expect a fill of this weekly imbalance pretty much towards $68,000. So on the higher time frames, I do remain bearish, but it will be nice to get one last bounce towards $91,000 as outlined in my last update. I have to say it's not super likely that we get it, so I'm not as confident in this scenario as I usually am, but if we do get it, I can tell you it will be a huge bull trap because, well, for two reasons I would like this scenario to play out. The first one is that I'm seeing a lot of people looking at this wedge. I hate looking at patterns. You can see I can barely freaking draw them, but I'm seeing a lot of people looking at this wedge. So you have a breakdown and a lot of people have shorted this breakdown. Now you have gotten the move up to stop these breakout traders out. I would have liked this move to come in like a bit later, which kind of actually defeats the purpose of my plan now, right? You stopped out these traders, but you can see I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are still shorting because of the breakdown of this wedge. So you would get a nice short squeeze. And on the trend line side, we shared this trend line in the last live, held up pretty well, but if you do get that bounce towards $91,000 and the fake out above that trend line, this would be, in my opinion, a massive bull trap. So many people would be longing the breakout and expecting new all-time highs, and then you just fake them out and dump straight back down. This would be so good, but again, these perfect scenarios are usually a bit too much to ask. So I'm done with Bitcoin. I don't want to talk about it too much. I think I've made my myself clear. High time frame, I'm still bearish. I will be looking for longs if we drop down towards this low and see good reactions. Of course, you don't want to long blindly and just put multiple limit orders down there. That's personally not how I trade, but if you get good reactions, then this could offer a bounce higher. We have a double top that I don't like. And yeah. Ethereum. I like the fact that Ethereum is dropping now. I have to admit, I love this. So Ethereum is heading into major support. You really want this coin to hold here. So potentially consolidate, get that drop, and then reverse higher. Something like this. You can see it's getting pretty aggressive, which is again personally my favorite scenario. I want to see these aggressive drops to reverse higher, but overall you really want to hold this area on Ethereum. If you don't, I mean, let's go back on the daily or maybe on the weekly. Do I want to go on the weekly? No, that's good enough. Probably then look for that low right there. 1,000, probably a bit lower. So I would say $1,300 would be your next target if you lose this support area. Okay, so important support on Ethereum, and as I'm high time frame bearish on Bitcoin, I don't think that this will be a bottom. I think that this will be a medium time frame node that could offer a bounce. We'll see towards which area, but a bounce. Potentially tap that quarterly pivot actually. Where does it come in? Yeah, I think that would be nice, you know. Let me, one sec. I just want to remove this. Okay, so my high time frame scenario on Ethereum, if we do drop first, would be drop, bounce, tap that quarterly pivot, potentially take out that high, and then reverse to the downside and head towards that low at $1,300. So high time frame, that's of course dependent on if we got that bounce, but as I said, this will be a big support, so disappointing. It doesn't offer at least a small bounce, but this would be my high time frame plan for Ethereum. And remove this quarterly. That would be it for Ethereum. Do I want to cover anything else? Binance resistance. This resistance has been so strong. Reminder, this was a partially filled 4-hour imbalance. Can see was not completely filled, so that was the resistance on Binance. Massive drop to the downside. Solana, I don't see much on Solana. XRP, Could we bounce as well on XRP? Maybe take out that low and then bounce and then reverse lower. That would be a huge bounce actually. It's not impossible to happen, but yeah, 40%, I don't know. You know, I'll keep my alerts up there. You can see I have just one alert in case it gets triggered, but I do believe that if it gets reached, could offer a nice short position. Litecoin. Oh, I did have a support right here on Litecoin. So Litecoin also reaching a major support, I think, right? I mean, there's a reason I outlined this area. Why did I outline this one? So we have a daily. Oh yeah, and you had the 12-hour. Okay, so this is the area on Litecoin. Lose it, of course. You have a partially filled weekly down there. I do believe that just like Ethereum long term, you will fill that this weekly very easily towards $66. And then apart from this, CRV looks pretty shit. Probably look for a bit lower on CRV. I mean, personally, I just want to focus on Ethereum. If you have more altcoins that you want me to analyze, I'll dive into them. But I think the best setup to me is going to be Ethereum, right? I mean, we have a clear support. We have that quarterly pivot. I think it could offer a pretty nice bounce. Gold. Gold probably, I mean, it will continue higher, right? This is just a bidding cycle, not really a cycle, but a bidding phase for hedge funds. You know, when it drops, they buy, so they're probably buying here for the next event that will push gold higher. We can look at the stock market quickly, but again, we dropped a bit too far for my relief rally to come into play. We could still take out that low and see a relief rally tomorrow, right? I mean, it's not impossible, but I would have liked to see a higher low. That's still possible, okay? Not impossible at all, actually. We do have a lot of fear right now because the VIX is at 45. Now I just remembered. Sub 50%. Talk about panic. I mean, when the VIX is at these levels, this is when you want to start buying anything spot related, so stocks, maybe spot on Bitcoin. But when you see these spikes on the VIX, this is when you want to start buying. Ideally, I would like the VIX to make a new high, so come up above $65. Because as I said, I don't believe that the bottom is in neither on the stock market, neither on Bitcoin, even though I would like to see a relief rally. So we'll have to see what happens. Again, as I said, this was not my favorite plan for the relief rally, but it's still possible. So I wouldn't dismiss a nice bounce on the stock market. And overall, that would be it. So just a quick recap, right? My plan hasn't changed on Bitcoin. Let's drop on the 1 hour. This was the plan outlined on Thursday. Oh, don't tell me we have another SFP. Yeah, I'm not trading anyways. It's Sunday night, but you can see we already have 2 imbalances. So yeah, it's looking good for the bounce if we can drop lower and get the right reactions. But that would be my plan on Bitcoin. Drop towards that low, and then we'll see what happens. We'll update you inside the Discord tomorrow. Well, that was it. Do you guys have any questions? Hello, hola, hello everyone. ETH has been so weak. Yeah, it has, but look, one point on ETH is that yes, oh, now we have, do we have one on the 4 hour? Nah. I mean, we have one there, but if this one could turn into a 4 hour imbalance and we have a 12 hour imbalance as well, this would be very nice. This would be very nice, but for the 12 hour, you still have, what is that? 6 hours for the close, so you still have a long time for this to turn into an imbalance. But ETH has been weak, yes, but if you look at the drops, they've been getting a bit less aggressive. So you had a super aggressive drop. You can look even percentage wise, maybe 24, 25%, like in just a couple of days. Not even, how much is that? Just a couple of days. I mean, in 4 days, you dropped 25%. So a very strong drop. Same thing right there. Same thing right there, a very strong drop. But now you see that the drops are getting a bit weaker. So you see, okay, that was a big drop, but then sideways, a smaller drop, sideways, and this drop has been a bit less impulsive. So when you see the drops get weaker, this is already a good sign. It doesn't mean that again you blindly open long positions, but this is already a decent sign to expect at least some sort of a bounce on this major support level. So I'm not losing hope on Ethereum. I personally don't hold Ethereum as spot. But overall, this looks decent. It doesn't look too bad. I think you have a lot of fear on Ethereum, but if you just zoom out, this has just been sideways price action. Nothing to worry about too much, in my opinion. Even though again I don't hold spot, so I'm not like insanely bullish, but it's still a decent coin. You know, it's the biggest altcoin. And at the end of the day, I'm just a technical analyst. We're just dropping into support. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for the reactions. What do you think about ETH BTC? I don't analyze it as much as I used to because again, I've been expecting lower because we have liquidity down there, we have a weekly imbalance. So, I mean, looking at ETH BTC won't really change my view, but I do have. I took this curve that I saw somewhere on Twitter. I actually liked it, so this is not my analysis, but I did like this curve. I don't know, like what am I supposed to see on this? You know, it's just been down and down and down. You know, I mean, even if you bounce on Ethereum but bounce harder on Bitcoin, this is still going to, to drop. I don't really see the point of looking at this. Next stop will be this kind of double bottom, this weekly imbalance 0.01, but does that really help you? I don't know. I'm not too sure, honestly. Yeah, I like this level. I mean, you can mark out an area. I will mark it out just for future reference. But again, I'm not too bothered about ETH BTC. Ethereum is reaching a big support level, which reminds me actually, okay, just be aware of this on ETH. What happened to Total 2? Because I did have a big support as well that got front run. I did want to look at it with you guys. Okay, that's good as well. We are dropping back into my support, which was front run by nothing really, but we are dropping back into it, so we have big support on Total 2 as well. Could this mean that we get a relief rally? You could look for this daily imbalance, right? So Total 2, drop, and then reverse higher. Something like this. I think that looks nice. Not too interested in doing predictions on Total 2, but I think that this looks nice. Okay, we have that support. I've been talking about it for a while, so it will all depend on the stock market, which is looking pretty bad. But when things look bad, and remember, the VIX to me is super important. I mean, the VIX is at 45, okay? Do we shoot up now to 66? Or do we get a bit of a cool off? And then another event and another spike. Something like this is a bit more interesting to me on the VIX. But again, this is when you want to buy spot. If you have any stocks that you like, any crypto that you like, that has good fundamentals and that is at major support level, like Ethereum, for example. If you like Ethereum fundamentally, this could be a good spot to start buying Ethereum. Okay. Maybe, yeah, we did talk about the DAX. I'm interested to see what happened there. Let's look at the DAX. What happened to it? I'm interested. Did I get the analysis right? I mean, I got the first part right, which was, I mean, we can zoom in. You can see we did get the bounce off of the, what was this level? I forgot. Was it the, did we have an imbalance? I forgot, but we did get the bounce there. We topped out and we got the drop, but this level just didn't offer anything at all. So the first part played out nicely, but yeah, this support level, absolutely nothing. That's bad. Yeah, that's very bad. How much did that drop? 13%, wow. And guess where we bottomed? Well, is it a coincidence? I can tell you, when I show you this over and over again, it's not a coincidence. We bottomed exactly on the daily imbalance, which offered a pretty big bounce at first. How much? A 3% bounce off my daily imbalance. The next imbalance will be quite a ways away, so you probably want to see a bit of a bounce right here on the DAX, right? So consolidate a bit and then also get a relief rally, but overall probably just like the American stock market, continue a bit lower. I mean, losing that value area high, let me look at it again. What was the pull, if I can remember it? Was it this, of this uptrend? No, it wasn't. Which pull did I take to? I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, overall, probably the DAX will drop back below that low. You do have this point of control as well. So again, just like the Nasdaq, the S&P, I would expect a relief rally, especially that this daily imbalance has indeed offered support. So a bit of a relief rally, maybe fill this 4-hour imbalance, maybe get a partial fill and then continue lower, take out that low, and head into the point of control. Okay, so that's mainly it for the DAX. Yeah, I mean, I did tell you that as we expected lower on the stock market, just expect lower on the DAX. So this came true in the end. What do you think about altcoins in general? Well, to not be a bit too harsh on altcoins, the reason that I don't hold any altcoins, I mean, I did hold one in the past, which I did update you in the Discord. I had bought it somewhere down, I think down there, maybe around $70, and I sold it completely at the all-time high, and that was the only altcoin that I held on spot. The reason that I don't like altcoins is that overall I just don't like the culture of altcoins, right? It just seems like a weird thing in crypto that's just holding Bitcoin down, and you've been seeing everyone shouting for an altcoin season since pretty much since March 2024. And even when Bitcoin has done all of this and most altcoins have done nothing, most people are still shouting altcoin season. So overall, I don't love the culture of altcoins, which is why usually I don't trade them. It's just because, again, I don't really like them. Okay, so but again, sometimes they do offer nice trades like that CRV. That short was pretty easy. You had the 4-hour imbalance at the highs against that liquidity. So they do offer nice trades sometimes, but again, personally, I just like Bitcoin. I like trading Bitcoin. It offers enough trades in my opinion. It respects DA very nicely, and I just don't need anything else. So that's my kind of 2 cents on altcoins. I don't like them. I know that a lot of people will disagree with me, but I can't be asked with altcoins. Solana and XRP. Okay, actually I do have them. I looked at Solana, but I didn't see anything. So can we find something on Solana? Let's try to find something for you. Okay. I don't know how I missed that. This to me should be a massive level on Solana. $103 plus you have a psychological level at $100. Partially filled weekly imbalance. Trust me, these partially filled imbalances tend to offer massive support. I can show you on Bitcoin. Look where the bottom of the bear market was put in. Look, you have all of these weekly imbalances. And which one was the only partially filled imbalance? Well, it was that one. If I zoom in, you can see it wasn't completely filled. So let's go forward in time. This is where Bitcoin bottomed. So partially filled imbalances are extremely important. Now we can go back to Solana. Partially filled, what? Oh, partially filled imbalance. This should be, I can remove this now, it's useless. Partially filled imbalance should offer big support. Can I find Confluence on the daily? It's not a daily imbalance, but you still have liquidity below these two lows, so that should be enough. Ideally, we got a 12-hour as well. Do we? Okay, we do. So that's good to see on Solana. You have a 12-hour imbalance, order block, 12-hour imbalance, weekly imbalance liquidity. So you have a lot of confluence around that level. You can just mark out an area if you want. So from this low to the open of this candle, and you just drag it forward. This should be a very interesting support on Solana. Right there for you. Okay, so do we jump into it on Solana and then bounce higher? This looks decent. Honestly, I don't mind this trade at all. So if you're interested in trading Solana, to me, this has to be a massive area. Not only because we have these three important confluences, but also because it's going to be a massive psychological level, $100. So important area on Solana. Thank you for asking, because I actually missed that level. I just didn't look at it, but that would be important. Okay, I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. And you wanted XRP as well. I mean, I did cover XRP, right? Maybe take out this low and then reverse to the upside towards this area, 2.7. The problem with XRP is that I kind of wanted it to bounce from here. Put in a higher low and then bounce, but I didn't think I would ever say this, but I think Solana looks a bit better than XRP right now. I mean, kind of as a clear levels that you have on the chart. I think Solana has a very clear level, again, for all of the reasons mentioned, but you could look at this on XRP. Personally, I will just be interested in the short if we do bounce. I'm not interested in longing XRP right there. Because I don't like this low, that's why. So maybe drop, maybe, and then bounce higher, and then reverse lower, something like this on XRP. But again, Solana, this should offer some sort of a bounce, okay? This area. What is Bitcoin doing? Wow. Wow, indeed, wow. I don't think I'll be trading it today. Probably tomorrow will be the more interesting trades. But again, I did say this at the start of the stream. I want to see a very aggressive drop lower to create a lot of fear. So following the plan, Ethereum, has it entered the area? Not yet. So Ethereum still has a bit further to drop. But overall looks good. It looks good. So if BTC reaches, well, one sec. Solana, ENA, let's look at the, okay, one sec. So if BTC reaches your level, like next couple of hours, you're not going to take a long? No, because I just don't like trading Sundays. Except, I'll update you in the Discord, or maybe even live right now if I see something, but for now, I don't know, I really dislike trading weekends. So yeah, we'll see. I'll update you in the Discord if I see something, but ideally I just want to go to sleep, wake up tomorrow and see what setup do we have, because we could wake up tomorrow with a pretty bloody stock market. Do you have a high percentage net worth in BTC? No. ETH has a new 4-hour imbalance. I did see this. Okay, so you did ask about ENA. Let's see. It's you're asking about a crypto, right? Not a stock. What is that? What are these coins? What are these coins, guys? Come on. Hmm. Not seeing too much, nothing too interesting that catches my eye. You do have this imbalance, but I don't love it. I don't know. It's just above that low, which I think will get taken out. I don't know, this coin just looks ugly overall, right? Uh, I don't really want to make a prediction on it simply because I mean it will simply follow if it's a decently strong coin, it will follow coins like Solana, you have a support below, and Ethereum you have a support below. So ENA, again, just like if you have your levels, I don't see any super interesting level. You do have liquidity, but like if you get that bounce on Ethereum and Solana, probably also a bounce on ENA. It's that simple. I mean, you don't have shorts here. Of course, you've dropped so much, so it's only longs, and I don't see any super interesting levels. Man, that's getting impulsive. Let me remove this. What is Binance doing? Same on Binance. It's looking good. If we can get that like slow down at the bottom, you know, certain wick or anything, juicy long, juicy long. But don't try to catch a falling knife, okay? There's right now there's no long at all, so it does also look like it will take that low, so possibly. Can we consolidate until tomorrow morning to get people too long and then crash below that low and then reverse? It's a bit useless to outline this scenario as I'm not going to be trading it, but something like this would be a good trap. ETH has a yes, we did see. I am only shorting XRP from the start of Feb. That's pretty good. XRP has been dropping quite hard like most alts. Thanks for Sol, looks promising. Always welcome. It's already Monday in Asia. Is it? It's not yet, right? Actually, yeah, you're right. It is. What am I talking about? It's not this session yet. It's not the Asian session yet, but it's getting close. What are what are these coins? Yeah, I just don't know. I told you, it's just because personally, as I really dislike altcoins, when I see some people on Twitter post like weird setups on shit coins, I'm like, it's to me it's a bit like gambling and wasting your followers' money, because of course people will follow these kind of weird long setups, and oftentimes the coin just dumps because it's a scam and people lose money. So that's that's why I really don't like altcoins. It's just holding down Bitcoin overall. That's my view on it. I know that a lot of people will disagree. So these, I didn't miss any questions, I think. If I did, just let me know. But so I think that this was it for this update, right? I've made myself pretty clear. I mean, if anyone took that short, again, I did share this level on Thursday, so a day in advance, and then even inside the YouTube update. So if anyone took that short, this offered a pretty nice short. How much? 5%, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I definitely missed it. I did kind of want to make an imbalance update on Binance, because I think that because I am starting to look at Binance, I don't know if I want to explain this in this live stream or in the next one, but all I'm gonna say for now is that I will start to look more and more at Binance, because in the past I just didn't have the need because Bybit imbalances are insanely accurate, but you can see, for example, right there, 3 imbalances. This is much more bearish than Bybit, sorry, where you had 1 imbalance at the low. So I will start to pay much more attention to Binance, because now, so from now on, I would have taken that short. I mean, I did see these three imbalances, but I just wanted this last kind of journaling of that. I didn't trade it, so kind of pattern noticing. But again, you can see these three imbalances on Binance did offer a pretty easy short position. So I will start to pay more attention to Binance. You can see on that low as well, by the way, last week, which was our support at $80,000, we dropped with a lot of hourly imbalances, while on Bybit, we didn't have any hourly, I mean, we did have one at the highs, but this one is not very important. You didn't have any hourly imbalances after that. So a quick update on imbalances. I will talk about this inside the lessons that I'm filming for you guys. They're not all done yet, but I'm pretty happy with what I've done until now. But I will talk about this update and why I think it's important and why you should focus. I mean, I will talk about everything inside these lessons. It's not too important right now. Unfortunately, we have to wait until US Open. I don't think you have to wait until US Open. You could trade a bit earlier. Personally, it's just I want to wait at least until I wake up until I wake up tomorrow. So until Habib Open. Until then, I'm really not too interested in trading Sunday nights. I mean, I prefer just to sit down and chill instead of being in a trade and tracking it and deciding if I put a stop loss and making or losing money. Just weekends, chill out, give your head and your heart a break, and during the week you can get back into it with a pretty healthy mindset. So for now, that's why usually on Sundays I don't really trade on weekends. I was not trading this week, fell FOMO. Why didn't you trade the TGMF? I mean, I just took one. No, I took two trades. I took this short inside of these candles before going to sleep. It offered a drop, and also this one before going to sleep. I put a limit order, which this one offered pretty nice profit. So I'm pretty happy with that long. But yeah, I just took two trades this week. Pretty gutted about this short because I was super clear, right? Quarterly pivot, and we had ugly monthly lows. So overall, I was very confident that we would get new monthly lows. It's just unfortunate that it happened during the news. And not only that, it was extremely volatile. I mean, you can look at this. That was absolutely insane. So if only it wasn't during the news, right? If only Trump could stop speaking so much. He's getting annoying. He's getting annoying. Not busy, rather tired. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to trade every week. Someone was talking to me last week, and they told me that they also missed a lot of trades these past 2 weeks because, according to my levels at least, I mean, I did get front run on this high and on this low, and I told them, look, as long as you're not losing money, you're winning, right? Because if you can conserve your money during these big drops, not only for trading but also for spot buys. I mean, if anyone again is interested in buying spot Ethereum, you have conserved your money and your capital to get into nice longs, nice shorts, even potentially on retracements when you get interesting setups. So not trading is already a win in my opinion because you haven't lost money. 90% of, I mean, the amount of people that got liquidated on this candle on its own, I can tell you it's millions, right? Millions of dollars got liquidated inside of this candle. So again, as long as you're not losing money, you're winning. So with this final point, let me just take a sip of water. With this final point, guys, I don't think I've missed any questions. But with this, again, this was Thursday's plan. Getting followed pretty nicely until now. Can we get that reaction somewhere around that low? I think with that drop on Sunday night, potentially you can look at this low. For now, I'm not too interested in marking out new levels because I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the charts. But we're getting that drop, we're getting the imbalances. Ethereum is heading into major support. We have okay, we don't have a 12-hour imbalance yet, but we could get one. We have multiple, we have two big 4-hour imbalances that could get recovered. Solana, we just looked at it again, forming imbalances, heading into a big support. Total 2, where is it? Total 2 heading into big support. The only problem, unfortunately, is that the stock market has dropped a bit too far. If I remind you, this was the prediction. I wanted to see a drop below that low to see a reversal. Now it looks like it wants to go for that low. Not the best scenario, but still, we are due at some point for a relief rally. So does it come tomorrow or does it come in freaking 2 weeks? We'll have to see, but this is why, sorry, you outline levels and you just wait for reactions. That's the best thing you can do at this point, okay? So with all of that said, again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this live stream, and I hope that no one got caught off guard on this big drop, whether it's on Bitcoin, the stock market, or altcoins. I've been telling you overall expect lower prices. We'll get, in my opinion, we will fill that weekly imbalance pretty easily. Do we bounce first towards $91,000, then reverse? This will have to be seen next week. But again, right now, everything is dropping. We're getting the imbalances, so can we get that bounce tomorrow? With all of that said, I'm repeating myself, why am I doing this? So, see you tomorrow, everyone. For anyone inside the Discord, I will see you inside the server. And if anyone is new inside this live, you can find the link to our Discord either inside of our website. We have a website, cryptil.com. Or I think it should also be in the description of this live. So if you just open the description, you should find the link to our Discord. It's free, so you can just join it and chat with us and just join our community. Personally, again, I won't be trading this, so don't be wondering what I'm doing. I'm not going to be doing anything. I will see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone, and stay safe. Goodbye.